That again?
What do you like most about making this team?
Well, I think it starts with those 7 graduates that could have all gone into the NFL draft. That all are graduates. I think 3 of them have master's degrees, and they all chose to stay at Clemson. And they didn't choose to hang out and play on the lake for a year. They came back with a very focused vision and purpose of what they wanted to do individually and also as a team. So that really is awesome, because these are guys I didn't expect to be back, and now they're all back, and that type of leadership has been great. And then we signed another great class. I thought we signed a great class last year, and I think we signed a great class this year. 15 of them came mid-year. So there's a lot of enthusiasm that comes with that. There's a lot of competition that comes with that. And then, guys like Cade, guys like Antonio, guys that have been in the program like a Trent Howard, a Ryan Linthicum, Marcus Tate, that maybe don't know as much about, a Cade Denhoff, who are going into that 3rd year or redshirt junior that are really developing. So it's a good roster. It's a good mix from top to bottom. Yeah, I mean, they same things. We're focused on just day in, day out. Having good habits. Good daily commitment, because that's what it takes. I mean, if everything's perfect, we get 15 days to play. That's it. So you can't worry about those 15 days. It's the other 350, and the way you win the 350 is you win the day that you're in right now. And so just good daily focus, good daily habits and commitment. And, focus on the things that we control, which is being ready for camp, being prepared for camp, and then let's try to lock in and win the opener and go from there. But it's the same thing. We're very purpose-driven, as a program, and same mindset as we've always had. Start over, and you gotta go put the work in.
Along the skill question that Cornwood asked Shane Beamer yesterday on NIL. Lawmakers are talking about it. Coach Tuberville, one of the senators who's kind of talked about maybe some guidelines for NIL going forward. What would you like to see if the federal lawmakers were to come down and create some guidelines for NIL?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into, because that's fantasy land. Because I don't get any say in any of that stuff. A biggest thing I would say is it's, as I said earlier, it's been a net good, but it's being used improperly in some ways. It's not. There's no order. There's no structure. It's different rules at different places, and so I mean the biggest thing I would like to see is just whatever it is, just some type of continuity. That'd be the biggest thing. Well, I mean, yeah, but it's we got to do it on game day. I mean, I saw some good things in practice for sure, but I'll feel a lot better when I see it on game day. But the biggest thing is just track record. I mean, Cade his kid's been a winner a long time. It's easy to watch practice and watch his skill set and go, okay, that translates. We've got a healthy team now. And it's easy to watch, Shipley and Maffa and all the good things that I see in our offensive line and get excited about it. But and it's easy to see the confidence and enthusiasm of Garrett. But again, that scoreboard ain't lit up yet. So I'll be more confident when we see it on game day.
Anything you can share on the decision to dismiss TJ Dudley from the team 2 weeks ago?
No, just it's a disappointing situation because he's a good kid and a man. He had a chance to be a great player for us this year, so that definitely hurts us. But it's unfortunate, But you got rules, and sometimes it's just best to get a fresh start. So wish him well.
84 scholarships, is that correct? You're down to that number right now?
I think that's correct. So we'll have hopefully I can put a couple of my guys back on that were on previously that we had to take off. Like our starting snappers. Those guys are pretty important. And so we took them back. Dominique Thomas, I think he's pretty important to our football team, and so hopefully we'll be able to reward a couple of those guys as we get through camp.
Kate said earlier that Adam Reynolds really progressed and that we aren't ready for what he's about to achieve. What have you seen from him in this offseason?
Just, I mean, same thing as what I've seen in Cade. He's just a more knowledgeable, more confident kid because he's just more experienced. You know, again, when you just don't know what you don't know. And then obviously with Adam, he got hurt in spring, so he missed all the summer, and he's battling back from a knee injury. So he missed a lot of time, you know, that freshmen need. Everybody needs, but in particular, a true freshman. But he kind of started to hit his stride toward the end of the season, and I think things were slowing down a little bit. But, man, he looks amazing. I mean, he's, I don't know, 225, 6 pounds. He's about 5% body fat. I mean, he's just strong. He can really run. I mean, he's one of the best receivers in the country, you know, and, you know, just excited to see him healthy and feeling good. And if he's on the field, good things are going to happen with that kid. And it all starts with Bo, you know, for us. I mean, it's Bo, Antonio, and Cole, and Adam, and Spector. Those kind of 5 guys. If we can, and then you throw Brenny in there, Sage, and Shipley and Maffa, I think we've got as good a group as there is, you know, and will allow us to compete at the highest level. And so just, you know, hopefully we can, you know, have a little luck this year and keep our top guys on the field from a health standpoint. And then we went and signed 4 guys. So we've got some good young depth that I think we can bring along, and hopefully we can bring them along at a good pace as opposed to having to throw them out there in the fire, you know, if a guy got hurt or something.
Deb, I know you don't play Louisville this year, but can you tell me, just a friend of mine wanted me to ask you this question. Tell me about Coach Baum, what you know about him, and talk about him.
I don't know a lot about him. I've met him 2 or 3 times, and you know, really sharp, super nice guy and personable every time I've been around him. But I've certainly watched him from afar. I think he's going to do an amazing job. I think he's a great coach. I think you know, he's obviously a great fit for Louisville. And I'd be very surprised if he doesn't have a lot of success there.
You've been a part of a number of Florida State Clemson games where, I mean, it's both teams have legitimate national championship aspirations. Feels like it's the first year in a while where that's true. I guess how fun, how important is that series, and probably in a rivalry, when both teams are going to have that level as they might be this year?
Oh man, regardless if we're both, you know, 4-4 or 8-0, Clemson Florida State it means a lot to a lot of people. It's a big game. It's certainly one of those rival-type games that goes way back. But, yeah, I've been a part of a lot of big ones that certainly have, you know, in the past it was the division was on, you know, that game determined the division. So now it's a game that might determine the division, you know, or I mean, there is no might determine who's going to the playoff now as it expands, and certainly even this year for the Final Four, or you know how it's going to shake out in the December ACC championship game. But it's always electric. I mean, they're a great football team. Again, Mike's done an unbelievable job. A bunch of great players. I love their quarterback. I just think he's, first of all, a great kid, and he's an amazing player. And you know, you saw that last year. I mean, we had a pretty good lead on them there in the fourth quarter, and man, that's a reflection of, you know, their belief in, you know, what they're doing and where they are, because those kids didn't quit, man. And I mean, next thing you know, it's coming down to an onside kick. So it'd be a big battle for sure.
Yeah, but how do you see Wade Woodaz fit in this?
Wade Woodaz, oh man, he's that guy. He can do anything. We'll use him in a lot of ways. He you know, he's our big Sam, but he can play Mike and Will. You know, he gives us some depth there, you know, and you'll see him there. But we can also use him as a hybrid guy as we need to. He can play safety, kick and run, man. He's got ball skills. He's got a huge football IQ. You know, his background as a quarterback. But that kid and what he did as a freshman to where it's amazing. So he's on his way. You know, really fortunate to have that group at linebacker. We're a little top heavy there, so we're going to have some help from Kobe and from you know, D. Creighton and Jamal Anderson are going to have to step up and help us out depth-wise. But Wood, as it starts with him.
You mentioned Final Four. Were you guys taking a step from ACC championship team into the last year to a possible playoff Final Four team and now the championship type team? Is it just health, I guess, or what's the
Couple plays, if we're a better pass defense and a better pass offense, then we'll have a chance. Got to do a little better job taking care of the ball. We turned it over too many times, and we got to do a little better job taking it away. But at the end of the day, if we got to be better in our pass offense, and we'll be better in our pass defense. If we keep everything else the same, we'll because we're 1 point away last year. We're 1 point from being in the playoff, and if you get in the playoff, anything can happen. So just got to improve in some of the areas that we weren't quite as good as we needed to be last year.
How much of Trevor Lawrence did you watch last year, and what can you make of the improvement he made in year 1 and year 2?
Oh man, it was awesome to see him kind of find his footing a little bit. I think the first year obviously was just kind of chaotic, man, it was awesome to see. They didn't have ETN, and to see ETN get healthy and to see how they competed, and man, they were really close. I mean, they were right there. And I've known Doug for a while now. In fact, talked to him yesterday. We texted with each other. He does a great job. Does a great job with the team. Does a great job with the quarterback. And man, Trevor's in a great place. He just is who he is. I mean, there's nothing he does that surprises me. So, because he's never gonna rest on his laurels. He's gonna always be prepared. He's gonna work his tail off. He can take the punches as they come, and I think they've done a good job of putting a good group around him. I know they're getting Ridley back this year, and hopefully Big Trav stays healthy. They'll be a tough out.
Coach, your former assistant was making some comments about Deion Sanders recently and his roster turnover at Colorado. Do you feel his assessment was fair?
I'm not evaluating Brent's comments. I don't.
For yourself, do you feel like giving those guys?
I'm not judging anybody on how they run their program. That's not my job to do. I'm focused on how we run our program, and I'm certainly not going to evaluate other people's comments. But I think to each his own. I think that's. Everybody's got a job to do, and whatever. Everybody's situation is different, right? So I think our job as coaches is to play within the rules and do what you got to do to compete. So I don't judge anybody.
Sorry, Syracuse and Clemson have had a lot of close battles in the recent past. What makes Syracuse such a tough opponent?
Dadgum Dino. He does an awesome job. His guys are always prepared. They're tough. They do a good job schematically. He's always got a dadgum quarterback. That's a problem. And dang, Schrader's back again. Can't seem to get rid of him. They're just, they're tough. They're tough guys. And again, Dino, I think, does an outstanding job. Got good skill. They create some problems. We go back up there this year. Tough place to play. It's had a lot of battles for sure.
What makes the Dome such a tough place to play?
The same things that I just said, because when it can get going. It can certainly get going up there, and it's a great venue. And I think winning on the road is always tough, but certainly going up there and it can get loud. It can get rocking in there. And, it's just a different environment. It's kind of unique, to college football, but a really cool place to play. It's a great college football experience, to be able to go up there and play, but definitely not an easy place to play. But what makes it tough is the crowd does a good job, and the same things I was just saying. They're well coached, they're tough, they're prepared, and always a challenge.
What are your thoughts on the expansion of the college football playoff from 4 to 12 teams?
Let's go. It's here. It'll be a new era for sure. it's kind of interesting this year. It'd be really cool. That would be awesome to get to the last Final Four this year. That would be a pretty cool thing to be a part of as that goes away. So just, kind of like from the BCS to the 4 team, and now you're graduating on. It's going to be different, but it's just embrace it and see if we can be in that final 12.
Does it affect your scheduling in the future?
Probably, I could see that. I mean, I think it's to be determined. As there's so many kind of unknowns when it comes to that right now, because what's going to happen in other leagues as far as conference games. Do you continue to schedule major out of conference types games and things like that? So I think those are a lot of questions that I don't really have the answer to right now, but I think it'll play out as we get rolling into that era.
We've got time for 2 more.
How tempted do you think you would be if you've got 2 games left and you pretty much know you're going to get in the top 12, that you maybe rest some of your stars?
Well, I don't think that's any question that's going to happen. I mean, you're basically just kind of going to an NFL model, from a playoff standpoint. NFL has 14 teams? Is that what they got? So you're going to 12, and I mean, it's unfortunate. That's just one of those. Again, there's always unintended consequences, and that's one of them. But that'll happen. There'll be situations just like you see, in any big tournament type sport. You see that in the NBA. You see that in baseball. You see it certainly in the NFL, where they're in the playoffs, right? They're there, and I think that's one of the downsides, one of the negative consequences. But again, it'll probably still be a net good, but you just you adjust to it and you keep going.
Final one here.
Jen Lewis, 3 Chicks and a Pod.
What's that?
Jennifer Lewis with 3 Chicks and a Pod.
Okay.
Stitch Media.
Okay.
We talked at the ACC Championship press conference.
Okay.
And just 2 quick questions for you. One, how is it that all of your players are so polished when speaking to the media?
I guess Ross does a good job.
Good kids.
And also, this is my favorite question to ask right now. What was your favorite play that you saw cultivated on the field without a lot of input from you during game time last season?
Let me process that one now. What was one more time? Give it to one more time.
What was your favorite play that you saw cultivate on the field during game day without a lot of input from you?
Without a lot of input, probably one of our scramble plays. Where we because those are off schedule type things. So one of our scramble plays where we got a huge play off of it. Would be. There's several of them, but those are always my favorite. The no, yes, those plays.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thanks, guys.